Good, happy Wednesday morning, November 6th, 2019. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday morning, so let's begin. First up, man wanted on theft charges in connection with deaths of Romney couple. Deaths of James and Michelle Butler ruled homicides. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
Customers will call in or email in and just tell us that he was at the store, and from the beginning of the sale till the delivery, it was a great experience. And as a business owner, that's what we strive for.
Visit us at powellstone.com.
Texas investigators stood before cameras with a wanted poster in hand, bearing the name Adam Curtis Williams and photos of the 33-year-old now wanted for felony theft. The sheriff says his image was captured at a border crossing into Mexico. They say the woman in the passenger seat is Amanda Novaire, considered a person of interest.
We believe that Williams, to be the driver of the vehicle that belonged to the Butlers. And this person is considered armed and dangerous. We ask that people not approach these individuals.
In one-on-one interviews with ABC, investigators say an arrest warrant is pending for the woman. At this point, they're not charged with the homicides of Jim and Michelle Butler. The 48-year-old Navy veteran and his 46-year-old wife from Romney were camping on Padre Island in mid-October. They were found in a shallow grave. Their pickup truck and camper pulled across the border into Mexico.
There's always cameras everywhere, and so there's got to be more out there that we just haven't uncovered at this point. Every homicide is brutal, and this one is particularly nasty.
The district attorney on the case says authorities in Mexico have been notified. People in the Corpus Christi area are in shock.
I think this is an anomaly, taking into account that the suspects are from Utah. They're not somebody who lives here locally.
And once again tonight, he says they are working with authorities in Mexico. Investigators are still not revealing how the Butlers were killed or any possible motive. Live in studio, Gene Mackin, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man accused of attacking driver 79 who gave him ride after released from jail. Police say the driver in critical condition after assault. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
Now's the best time of year to get more for your money on a new Mahindra. Enjoy 0% interest or save.
21-year-old Brendan Harriman is charged with robbery and second-degree assault after police say he punched an elderly man in the face, then stole his car.
Shocking, and it adds an additional sense of the heinousness of the act when you have an elderly victim who's just trying to help someone out, and then the suspect takes advantage of that and hurts the victim.
Yesterday afternoon, police say that 79-year-old driver saw Harriman looking for a ride and picked him up. But just before that, the county attorney says Harriman had been released on personal recognizance bail for not showing up to court on a separate case. Court paperwork says that hearing was on assault charges for allegedly bruising an 8-month-old's face last year.
The suspect was just released from the jail and told the victim he was looking for a ride.
Once the elderly man picked him up, police say Harriman threatened to stab him if he didn't pull over. So the driver did, just up the road at Walmart. That's when authorities say Harriman assaulted him, breaking his nose and putting him in critical condition. Harriman allegedly took off with the car and was later found in Lebanon. Police have this warning for Good Samaritans.
I would just say always err on the side of caution. Always take your safety as paramount and be very cautious, especially depending on your location before you consider giving someone a ride. And this is just an example of how terribly wrong it can go.
Harriman pleaded not guilty to the charges connected to the carjacking. He is being held tonight without bail. Reporting live in Haverhill, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Joyce Craig wins second term as Manchester mayor, beating Victoria Sullivan 57% to 43%. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
With more than a 2,500 vote lead over her Republican challenger, incumbent Joyce Craig celebrates re-election to her second term as mayor at a victory party at Puritan tonight.
We've made great progress in the city of Manchester, the city that I was born and raised in and that I love so much. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity to serve our residents for another 2 years.
Her campaign says she won the race by the largest percentage in a mayoral race since 2011. Meantime, on the other side of the city, her Republican challenger, former state rep Victoria Sullivan, called Craig to concede earlier this evening.
We had so many people we were speaking for. We were the voice for the blue-collar folks and the people in Manchester that are fighting every day. And we got 6 aldermen on the board in a fight for the tax cap, and that was a really huge thing for us. So we feel great.
Sullivan also said she'll continue to fight for the city, and when asked if she would run again in 2 years,
we're thinking maybe something in the future.
Craig says now that Election Day is over, work continues on her top priorities for the city.
You know, we are focusing on the things that we have been working on. So it is the opioid crisis, it is addressing homelessness in the city, and working with our nonprofits and with our hospitals and with the state to make sure that we have the services statewide and within the city to help the individuals that need help.
And tonight, Mayor Craig also getting some attention from several Democratic presidential candidates, Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren, tweeting their congratulations tonight. Live in Manchester, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And all of us here at the Riley King Network congratulate Joyce Craig on winning. Congratulations, Joyce Craig. And now let's take a look at your 2020 New Hampshire candidate tracker for today. We have 2 candidates in New Hampshire today. The first candidate we're going to talk about, Amy Cullen-Bolger. Amy Cullen-Bolger has 2 events today in New Hampshire. Her first event, filing for the New Hampshire primary, rally at the State House in Concord, New Hampshire at 9 o'clock a.m. And her second event, Southern New Hampshire Democrats Blue Moon Rising celebration in Derry, New Hampshire at 8 o'clock p.m. Also, Andrew Yang, he's in New Hampshire today. And he has 1 event today in New Hampshire. Andrew Yang in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Loaded Question Brewing CO today at 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Those are the 2 candidates that are in New Hampshire today. Pedestrian hospitalized after being struck in Tilton. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
We feel that if a customer wants their product and they're ambitious and they want to do it today, if we have it here in stock, we have the people, the trucking, and why put off till tomorrow what you can do today?
Visit us at powellstone.com.
Well, Tilton police are investigating after a man was hit by a car tonight while crossing the street. It happened around 7 near the Chili's on East Main Street. Police say there is no crosswalk in that area. The man, believed to be in his 60s, was taken to the hospital. We do not know the extent of his injuries. The driver is cooperating with police.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Tree falls on moving vehicle in Salem, sending driver to hospital. Let's take a listen to that video from WR News 9.
We feel that if a customer wants their product and they're ambitious and they want to do it today, if we have it here in stock, we have the people, the trucking, and why put off till tomorrow what you can do today?
Visit us at powellstone.com.
Person taken to the hospital tonight after a tree falls on their moving SUV. Salem Fire said it happened on Bridge Street this evening, and as you can see, the tree slammed the front end of the vehicle. Fire officials said the driver's injuries appear to be minor.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. U.S. futures point to a mixed open. U.S. stock index futures were mixed Wednesday morning after the Dow Jones Industrial Average posted a fresh record close on Tuesday. School resource officer charged with abusing student. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
A Florida deputy under arrest for a troubling incident caught on camera inside a school for children with emotional and behavioral issues. The deputy seen grabbing a 15-year-old girl by the neck and throwing her to the ground. Tonight, the head of the force outraged by what he saw, and here's ABC's Steve Osunsami now.
On the left is Broward County Deputy Willard Miller, the school resource officer at Cross Creek School, seen here texting on his phone. He was arrested. And on the right is the 15-year-old girl, the student he's accused tonight of physically abusing.
The byproduct of his actions were deplorable. They were uncalled for, and they violated multiple policies just on the optics.
This is a school for children with emotional and behavioral issues, and you see the student touch him with her foot, pushing the back of his leg. A minute later, it appears that they exchange words, and then he walks across the room, grabs the girl by the neck, throws her to the ground, and puts his knee in her back. He then pulls her off the ground, throws her into a room, causing the victim's body to hit the wall, according to the police report. The charge tonight, felony child abuse without great bodily harm. The sheriff is furious.
I would hope that every cop in America would disagree with that type of response.
The officer has been suspended and has not yet entered a plea. Authorities tell us that school officials found this incident by accident while they were investigating something unrelated. David?
Steve Osunsami tonight. Thank you, Steve.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.